Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Abyssal Expedition and starting off within here, guys. So we know it is open. We have 11 on one side, 9 on one side. I'm going to go with Oku. So I'm going to actually pick it up on this side, confirm, move into the Abyssal Expedition. Now this, of course, a lot of guides, a lot of things of that nature are kind of built over the last one that we've seen. So this is the same as season 9. It does have the same bosses, things of that nature. So when you first come into the vault, you want to cultivate. This is putting in a hero within this tier 1. Now the goal, day 1, of course, getting some tier 2s, getting some tier 3s, but ultimately within the first day, you want to get to the boss. That is the ultimate goal, guys, is you want to path as fast as possible, moving in and getting to this very first boss to connect all of the players that are within this game mode. Also take a look around, see who is around you, which it looks like for me, I'm pretty much all by myself right here. Star of Destiny, of course, is going to yield you some additional players. Prime Time, there we go, Prime Time. So you are in as my Star of Dawn. Thank you for being the Star of Dawn. This means that we're going to get some bonuses that you can see right down here as a spectator because I'm one of the top 10 players within the Abyssal Expedition. Now, looking at the title, again, you want to go through here and you want to build these out with the settlements, focusing on leveling up. Within the first probably 2 days, you should be able to go through at least 3 or 4 levels within the title field. Leaderboard, of course, you do get some resources in there. And look at that, guys. All of these guilds have already taken down the first gate boss, the Wailing Widow, which again is incredible because they don't have any of their really blessed relics at this point. And I was kind of going back and forth with this one on who I was going to build. And I believe I'm going to go in here as tank. You could really go in, I mean, a lot of players, again, it's really a preference choice. The easiest one that we kind of find is the Ranger, just because they do have that dodge aspect. With the rise of the Warriors, a lot of players are going with the Warriors. I like the tanks because of this ability right here with Endurance. Makes it incredibly easy, and a majority of formations do use tanks. Mages, when it comes to sorcery is incredibly difficult when you're coming through the Abyssal Expedition, but because of, again, the amount of support heroes we do have in AFK Arena, some players do run entire support, which I do not recommend whatsoever. The reason being there are a lot of heroes in here that you are going to essentially utilize in boss formations when you're taking out bosses, when you're in different modes. So again, my choice would be either going tank, or going warrior to really start off this game mode. I like going warrior because I run Brutus early, and Brutus does incredibly well early. But also a lot of players do run the awakened version of Thane. So again, depending on who you have, including, I mean, you could look at a couple other heroes, but again, there are a few that you really want to save some of the essentially the stamina on. Now, again, we can use Thane, we can use Baden. There's a couple really solid heroes in here that we could choose. But now, looking at the heroes again, I'm going to go through and see who we're going to build. For the beasts, we're going to put 2 beasts in here, and I'm not going to use these beasts, so they're actually just going to chill out here. I'm going to put the seal in here, and I also do like using, and we don't know about the fox, guys. You know what? I'm going to put the fox. No, I'm going to put him right here. I'm going to put the Phantasmoth just for the simple fact that I have it at 15, and I also do have Belbella, which is at 15. That might actually be a solid choice for the shielding aspect with the survivability, but pets, again, don't really seem to make a huge difference in there. But I am going to hop over, and we're going to put a couple of heroes in here. All right, so just reviewed everything, checked it over. I'm actually going to go in here with 2 solid heroes, guys. And then we're going to be rotating. So I'm going to put Brutus in here. Brutus, as you can see, is my strongest hero within AFK Arena. So I'm going to drop Brutus in there. There we go. We got a bundle for putting a hero in, but Brutus is in there. And I'm also going to put Alna in here. And then I'm going to do a rotation with these heroes. And I'll show you exactly what that means in just a minute. Don't know the impact of Rem in here. That could be kind of a really strong choice, but this is a team comp that I've used quite a few times. So putting these 2 in here. Now, essentially, I'm going to use one or the other to path with. And the reason is both of them are warriors. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to build out these warriors. So I'm going to go ahead and combine some of my relics in here. That way I can make it incredibly easy to go through here. Now, pathing wise, again, we're looking to get to some other players. I was hoping someone else would pop in, but it looks like not as of right now. So going through here, again, we're looking to take tier 3s. So here we do have a couple village 2s, but we're looking to target and take these tier 3s. You can see they're actually in green, which mean pathing down. It seems like I can probably path pretty solid to my right. So kind of going straight to my right. And this is, again, exactly what you're going to do when you come into the Abyssal Expedition. You can see the power in here. Not using my pets. I'm not using Ulna. I'm just going to put Brutus in here by himself. You can slow this down if you're kind of questionable on the power, if you're wondering about the formations, because you want to get 3 stars in here. 3 stars, of course, is going to yield you a return of 6 stamina, meaning that I only use 6 to move. I'm going to skip my reset timers, and then I'm going to drop another hero in here. It is quiet time right now. You can see we have 2 hours, 16 minutes before I'm going to start getting some essence out of here, which is really good. Again, I want to path over and I want to path to here. So quickest path, I'm just going to go straight through it, guys. I'm going to go straight through it with the awakened version of Brutus. Once we hit the path, once we do get with other players, once we hit that point, then I'm going to look at taking tier 3s. I might even attempt a tier 4 because of the Brutus Ulna combination. But what's going to essentially happen is when we have Brutus and Brutus runs out of stamina, I'm going to swap Brutus into that 3rd slot. I'm going to swap Brutus into the 4th slot, so on and so forth. So we're making progression through the Abyssal Expedition, and it is working incredibly, incredibly well. Now, what I mean is once Brutus is out of stamina right here, I'm going to swap Brutus to here. Brutus. Ulna and Brutus are going to kind of hop through here depending on who I do have to use, meaning that when I do get towards the end, see this one, again, power a little bit different, but when I get towards the end, I'm going to have the ability to actually be able to use all my stamina when we get to the point, but also with the stamina utilization, I'm going to drop everybody out at the end point, and I'm going to put the heroes that I'm looking to build in essentially that end point at that time. And again, I'm trying to take these tier 2s, I'm trying to take these tier 3s, just systematically going through here, trying to get as much stamina, as much essence as I can get, working through these game modes or working through the map itself. And again, this is the best way, the optimal way really to do this. So even looking here now, my essence is up to 300. I have a title, but we're going to push straight over. So I'm picking up 1s, I'm picking up 2s. Now, of course, a couple Abyssal Expeditions ago, they changed how it works when it comes to some of the movement tiles. So when you drop a village, it will actually get rid of the village. It will break the link if you get rid of some of the movement tiles. So if I actually drop one of my villages, it will move this tile. Nobody will own it. If I remove one of these Moon Oasis, one of my tiles that do not contain a place where I can put another hero, where I can cultivate it, a town, a village, whatever it is, you can actually go in there and drop it, and it doesn't count for 1. Now, again, when you first log in, which this is my first login for the day, I want to make sure that I hop in here. I want to make sure that I do take 20 of my tiles, and of course, maximizing what I can get out of these tier 2s and tier 3s. So it looks like we have 3 more battles in here, guys, and then we'll be able to link up with the main trunk line. And again, the first few hours, you want to get to that boss. You want to be setting at that first boss. I know a lot of players that have dropped in the awakened version of Belinda, and that was how the guildies have actually been able to absolutely destroy that first boss, is because of Belinda, guys. Belinda, of course, is super broken. We find the same with Rem. Rem is really strong. Even last Abyssal Expedition, Rem was a really, really strong contender. And if you haven't checked out Reddit, or if you haven't checked out YouTube on Ciro's Discord, or checked out the guide that he put out for the season 10 Abyssal Expedition comps, those are the boss comps. Those are the heroes you do want to put into a slot, and those heroes are going to stay in that slot the entire time, meaning that you are going, so all bosses have been eradicated. And there we go, guys. So this connects us to the main line. You'll notice all of this turns green, which means we are actually way down here. And you can see there are players that are literally pathing through everything. But I want to see if I can take one of these tiers using this combination. Again, tier 3s, sometimes Brutus can do it absolutely by himself. Sometimes it does take the Ulna assist, which again, boom, Brutus brings everyone together. The dodge effect in here, of course, pretty big, but Ulna can mitigate that. And then, of course, Ulna provides the immunity for Brutus, making it very easy. You can see to take a tier 3 in here with pretty much minimal. It did take us over 30 seconds, but remember, this is really, really early. We've been in the Abyssal Expedition just a couple minutes at this point. And then once we do get another relic out of there, it will work. Blessed relics, we are just waiting for it to essentially come out of the quiet time right here, but we can continue making progression through here. And you can see we're almost at the boss already, which means these tier 3s are going to be very, very vital. That way, when it actually opens up, when we drop into being able to get essence out of here, we already have the buildings, guys. We already have the villages. We already have the towns. We're already going to have everything to essentially start and make progression in here very fast. And you can see we missed that by 1 single second, but that's okay. We lost out 2 stamina. So now Brutus does not have enough stamina to continue. So what we do at this point, guys, like I said, Brutus is actually going to drop out with that 4 stamina. I'm going to hop over here. I'm going to drop Brutus back in. That's right. We can take tier 3s. We can take tier 4s. Might be a stretch, guys. I'm going to try this once. And when I say try this, go through, turn off the speed. You want to make sure. So if you have to retry it, it utilizes 1 stamina. If you do have to start over, or if you do lose, you can't use the heroes again. So right there, guys, only went down. Boom. I'm going to exit. Tier 4, check. Too tough at this point with the current ones that I have. Again, packing probably 1 or 2 more relics behind this team. I should be able to take them very, very easy if I have the ability, again, to stack a couple more relics. I don't see any problem going through there and actually being able to take them out really well. So once we get to the boss, now there are a couple caveats to when you actually get to the boss or when you path down to the boss. So once you are to this point, some players will go ahead and attack the boss. Actually, with the awakened version of Belinda, was burned down incredibly fast, like you've seen in the first game mode. Some guilds will actually just kind of stack here and wait to get a couple relics stacked. That way you can go through and you can actually make some progression in there. But again, we are not in a hardcore progression push guild at this point. Adventure Walk is not. We do like to come in here and have a blast with the Abyssal Expedition. We make sure that everyone within this formation does get that Prince title. It's super important, guys. Again, if you're looking to, if you don't have that awakened version of Brutus, you could come in here, I'm wondering, with Belinda, but again, I don't really want to use Belinda at this point. But you could come in here with Orin, do the exact same. We've seen the same with Ainz and Albedo. They have done well. Rem and Amelia could probably be another combination doing incredibly well. There are a ton of variations early mode that you want to get. So my goal, being a Star of Dawn player, being one of the ones that really want to stack essence, I want to get 20 tier 3s if I can. Once I do get to that point, I'm going to put in some heroes again within that stamina slot, or if I go through and I use all the stamina that I have on both Brutus and Ulna. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to take all 20 of my plots, and I'm hoping to farm some of these tier 3s. That way, again, when the quiet time ends, I'm going to be maximizing the stamina I can get there and then continue. Now, a couple of kind of common tricks, and I wasn't even paying attention. Ulna did go down on this one. Couple of common tricks that we see within here, or general rule of thumbs when it comes to the Abyssal Expedition, is 1, you always want to double up on the tier that you're giving up. So what I mean by that is, if you're going through, guys, and you have a tier 3 like this, when I drop this tier 3, I want to replace that with a tier 5. So I want to make sure that I am strong enough to take this tier 5. The same serves for, let's say, right here with a player taking these tier 2s. So if you take a tier 2, you want to move it to a 4. If you have a 5, you want to move it to a 7. You always want to try to essentially double move up a tier when you're going through here. And again, the stamina, and this is going to be the biggest thing that you can kind of manage, is the stamina within the Abyssal Expedition. So guys, we're starting this off right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run back here, take some more of the tier 3s that we kind of see sitting around here, keep leapfrogging all of those heroes. I'm going to drop in some of the heroes that are going to be some of my farm heroes, which of course, this is going to be one of my farm teams. I might put in the combination of the awakened version of Thane and probably run in there. I'm not sure who I'm going to run in that other slot with the awakened version of Thane, but essentially, if I have to move, this is going to be the team, my movement team, which is only going to consist of either 1 or 2 heroes for my actual movement team. My actual hardcore team or my stronger team are going to be the ones to take down the bosses, which I went through all of the last Abyssal Expedition with stacking relics behind me, running Brutus Ulna through an incredible amount of content, even taking tier 5s, tier 6s with just 2 or 3 heroes at that point. When you start stacking these blessed relics behind them, it makes an incredible, incredible difference. Even right there, guys, HP and attack by 70k. Boom, that is a really, really big addition, which means some of these tier 4s might even go a little bit easier, just for the simple fact that we're stacking some more relics. But guys, again, that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.